The envelope looked ordinary. Plain white. No handwriting. No decorations. My father slid it across the dining table toward my younger brother with a proud smile. Go ahead. Open it. My brother, Adam, laughed nervously. What is this? Just open it. The entire family watched. My mother reached for her phone, already preparing to record the moment. Adam pulled out a cashier's check. His eyes widened. $60,000? Dad nodded proudly. For your first house. Mom clapped her hands. We've been saving for years. You deserve a good start. The room filled with applause. My grandparents smiled. My aunt wiped tears from her eyes. Adam hugged both of our parents. I don't know what to say. Thank you. I promise I won't waste this. I applauded with everyone else. I truly meant it. I loved my brother. He had no idea what was about to happen. After the excitement settled, my mother turned toward me with an almost casual smile. Don't look disappointed. I blinked. I'm not. She laughed softly. We simply can't afford to help both of you. I nodded. I understand. Then she said the sentence that stayed with me for years. You've always been responsible. You can rent somewhere. My smile disappeared. For a moment, I honestly thought she was joking. She wasn't. My father calmly added, You earn a good salary. You'll figure it out. The conversation immediately moved on to Adam's future house. Everyone discussed neighborhoods, interest rates, furniture, paint colors. No one noticed I had quietly stopped eating. My name is Emily Carter. I was 34 years old, a project manager for a software company. And in that single moment, I realized my parents had mistaken my independence for not needing to matter. Looking back, maybe I should have seen it much sooner. Growing up, Adam was always the child everyone worried about. He was charming, funny, creative, but terrible with money. If he broke something, our parents replaced it. If I broke something, I was expected to earn the money to replace it myself. When Adam forgot assignments at school, Mom drove across town to deliver them. When I forgot mine once, Dad simply said, Actions have consequences. I accepted that. I believed they were teaching me responsibility. Maybe they were. But somewhere along the way, responsibility became expectation. And expectation slowly became neglect. After graduating from college, I started my career with student loans and exactly $427 in my checking account. I rented the smallest apartment I could find. Worked overtime almost every week. Rarely bought new clothes. Every raise went directly into savings. Friends invited me on expensive vacations. I politely declined. Coworkers upgraded cars. I continued driving my 12-year-old sedan. Whenever someone asked why I was so careful with money, I always smiled. I'm saving for a house. Not a mansion. Not a luxury home. Just a place that belonged to me. Somewhere no landlord could suddenly raise the rent. Somewhere I could paint the walls any color I wanted. Somewhere I could finally feel settled. For 10 years, that dream motivated every financial decision I made. Meanwhile, Adam's life looked very different. He changed careers 4 times. Started 2 businesses. Closed both. Bought expensive electronics. Traveled often. Whenever he got into financial trouble, my parents quietly helped. Dad called it giving him another chance. Mom called it support. I never judged Adam. Everyone's path is different. What hurt wasn't that they helped him. It was realizing they never considered helping me. A week after the family dinner, I met my best friend, Sarah, for coffee. She immediately noticed something was wrong. You've barely touched your drink. I sighed. My parents gave Adam $60,000. Wow. That's generous. It is. She smiled. So why do you look miserable? I hesitated before answering. They told me to keep renting. Sarah slowly set down her coffee cup. They actually said that? I nodded. You're responsible. You'll figure it out. She frowned. That's not about money. No, it isn't. It's about feeling invisible. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. What are you going to do? I stared out the cafe window. The only thing I can. I'm going to keep building my own future. The following Monday, I scheduled an appointment with a mortgage advisor. I almost canceled twice. Part of me still believed homeownership was years away. The advisor reviewed my savings, retirement accounts, credit history, income. Finally, he smiled. You've done an incredible job. I laughed nervously. Not incredible enough. He turned his monitor toward me. I disagree. You qualify today. I stared at the screen. Seriously? You have excellent credit. A strong down payment. Stable employment. You've been ready longer than you realized. For the first time in weeks, I smiled. That afternoon, instead of searching apartment listings like my parents expected, I started browsing homes. Most were outside my budget. Some needed too much work. Then one listing appeared. A neglected Victorian house on the edge of town. The photographs weren't flattering. Faded paint, overgrown garden, broken porch railing, old kitchen cabinets. But something about it stopped me from scrolling. The front porch wrapped around the entire house. Large maple trees shaded the yard. Original hardwood floors still remained beneath the worn carpets. I booked a viewing immediately. The realtor met me the next morning. As we walked through the empty rooms, she apologized repeatedly. It needs a lot of work. I barely heard her. I wasn't seeing peeling wallpaper. I was seeing possibilities. I imagined fresh paint, bookshelves, a kitchen filled with laughter, a garden blooming beneath the maple trees. For the first time in years, my dream didn't feel distant. It felt real. As we stepped back onto the porch, the realtor asked quietly, "So, what do you think?" I smiled without taking my eyes off the house. I think everyone else is looking at what this place is. I'm looking at what it could become. At that moment, I made a decision. If my parents believed my future was renting forever, I was about to surprise everyone, including myself. The moment I walked back through the front door with the house keys in my hand, I stood quietly in the empty living room. The walls needed fresh paint. The hardwood floors were scratched. The kitchen cabinets had probably been installed before I was born. To most buyers, it was an old house that needed too much work. To me, it was the first place that truly belonged to me. I smiled. I did it. There was no audience. No applause. No family celebration. Just silence. But somehow, that made the moment even more meaningful. Everything standing around me had been earned through years of discipline, sacrifice, and patience. Over the next 4 months, my life settled into a new routine. I worked at the office until 5, changed into old jeans in the garage, then spent every evening renovating my home. I learned how to patch drywall by watching tutorials online. A retired neighbor taught me how to refinish hardwood floors. My best friend, Sarah, spent nearly every Saturday helping me paint rooms while bribing me with pizza. Little by little, the house transformed. The faded walls became warm shades of cream and blue. The outdated kitchen slowly came back to life. The neglected front garden bloomed with roses, lavender, and hydrangeas. Each improvement reminded me of something important. Progress rarely happens all at once. It happens one small decision at a time. About 6 weeks after moving in, my mother called. "We haven't seen you lately." "I've been busy." "What have you been busy with?" I smiled. "My house." There was a pause. "What house?" "The one I bought." Silence. Then, "You bought a house?" "I did." "When?" "About a month ago." "You never told us." I answered honestly. "You never asked." She didn't know what to say. Neither did I. The following Sunday, Dad called. "We're coming over." It wasn't really a question. When they arrived, my parents stepped out of the car and stared at the restored front porch. Dad slowly looked from the flower beds to the freshly painted shutters. "This is yours." "Yes." Mom walked inside, looking around each room. "You did all this?" "Most of it." She ran her hand across the refinished kitchen countertop. "It looks beautiful." I smiled. It didn't always. As we toured the house, Dad became quieter. He examined the repaired staircase, the restored fireplace, the home office I'd built from an unused bedroom. Finally, he stopped in the backyard beneath the old maple tree. "I underestimated you." I shook my head gently. "No, you underestimated what years of consistency could accomplish." He lowered his eyes. "I think you're right." Later that afternoon, Mom asked if we could sit on the porch alone. For several minutes, neither of us spoke. Finally, she sighed. "I've been thinking about what I said." I looked at her. "Rent somewhere." She nodded slowly. "I wish I could take those words back. They hurt." "I know." Tears filled her eyes. "I honestly believed you didn't need help. I never stopped to ask whether you wanted support." I looked across the front yard. "I wasn't asking you to buy me a house." "I know. I just wanted to know I mattered as much." She quietly wiped away a tear. "You always mattered." I smiled sadly. "Then your actions forgot to mention it." Those words stayed between us for a long time. Months passed. Slowly, our relationship improved. Not because everything was forgotten. Because difficult conversations finally replaced comfortable assumptions. One afternoon, my brother Adam arrived unexpectedly carrying a toolbox. "I heard you're replacing the back deck." I am. He smiled awkwardly. Need another pair of hands? We spent the entire weekend working together. As we tightened the final board into place, he finally spoke. I almost gave the money back. I looked at him. What? The day Mom and Dad handed me that check. I knew it wasn't fair. You didn't ask for it. I still accepted it. He sighed. I've felt guilty ever since. I placed the drill on the porch railing. You don't owe me an apology. Maybe, but I wanted to say one anyway. For the first time in years, we talked honestly. Not as siblings competing for approval. Just two adults trying to understand each other. The following Christmas, my parents invited the entire family over again. After dinner, Dad stood up holding another envelope. Everyone exchanged nervous glances. He smiled. Relax. This isn't money. Instead, he pulled out a framed photograph. It showed me standing in front of my finished home on moving day, holding the keys with the biggest smile I'd worn in years. He looked around the room. I've spent months thinking about what success really means. He glanced toward me. I used to believe helping someone meant writing a check. He paused. My daughter taught me something different. Real success is becoming the kind of person who keeps moving forward even when no one clears the path. The room became quiet. Then he walked over and handed me the photograph. I'm proud of you. Those words meant more than I expected. Not because I had needed his approval, because they were finally offered without conditions. A year later, my housewarming party filled every room with laughter. Friends, neighbors, family, even my parents. As everyone gathered on the back deck we'd built together, Sarah smiled. Funny. What? You know what your house proves? I laughed. What? That the best revenge isn't showing people they were wrong. It's building such a good life that proving them wrong no longer matters. She was right. Looking back, people often assume this story is about a $60,000 check. It isn't. It's about expectations. Sometimes the people closest to us unintentionally convince us to dream smaller. They tell us to settle, to wait, to lower our expectations. But another person's limited belief in your future doesn't define what you're capable of creating. The day my parents told me to rent somewhere, I thought they had closed a door. In reality, they pushed me toward a different one I opened myself. Today, every time I unlock my front door, I don't just see a house. I see every early morning, every skipped luxury, every overtime shift, every difficult choice, and every moment I refuse to give up on my dream. Because a home built through determination carries something money alone can never buy. The quiet confidence of knowing that every brick, every room, and every memory inside it exists because you believed in yourself, even when others didn't.